getting the most amount of information in your brain, because when you put more information in your brain, your fingers are going to start translating differently, and that is going to make your guitar playing more interesting. Hey there guys, it's the Joe, Sloppy Joe's Shredshack, and today I'm going to do a video about what you can do when you're feeling uninspired when it comes to guitar. Welcome back to the Shredshack. Like I was saying before, my name is Joe. It's very nice to have you. Now, if you haven't seen my face before, welcome to the Shredshack. You know, definitely click like, smash subscribe, and hit that bell notification. Now, if you have seen my face before, welcome back to the Shredshack, my friend. Now, this video today is definitely more of a cathartic video, I guess. Maybe that's not the right word, but, you know, I think it's a subject that all musicians and guitarists especially, you know, we all feel uninspired at some time. And, you know, I'm feeling that right now. That's why I'm making this video, you know, like, you know, have I felt uninspired in the past? Yeah. You know, has it been a while? For me personally, it's been a long time since I've been really, really uninspired to play guitar. Like, I'm to the point right now where I'm having a hard time even just picking up my guitars, which is fine, you know, and I think everybody goes through that stage, you know, but what does uninspired mean? You know, like, for someone searching that up on the internet, it could mean something like, you know, they're going through a musical rut, they're writing the same riffs over and over, or, you know, they're not feeling it anymore. Like, they're just like, they lost the feeling to play, or feel the riffs that they're writing. Or, you know, maybe it's a mixture of both, or maybe it's something else entirely, and I kind of hope that I cover that in this video today. You know, so I'm gonna address a few things. One, when you're not feeling playing guitar, you know, when it's difficult to, you know, to write stuff, or you're just like, oh god, you just kind of dread picking up the guitar. I think we've all gone through that, you know. And the second thing I want to cover is, you know, something more of like a musical rut, you know, like when you're struggling to get new riffs out or whatever, and you're stuck in this space where you can't be creative anymore. And both of those ideas kind of play together, right? But they're both kind of separate in their own ways, and I'll explain why, and I'm going to give you my thoughts on, you know, trying to get yourself re-inspired again, or at least get yourself playing, even if you're at that point where you're just trying to get playing again, you know. So let's approach the first thing that I was talking about. So let's say that you're not feeling it anymore. You know, what does that mean? You know, usually to me that means that, like, you're having a hard time picking up the guitar, or something along that lines. There's something that's preventing you from picking up the thing that you love. Right, so we need to be able to, like, dissect how to break that wall down that you've now created. You know, like, my first tip for this is to just leave the guitar out. I mean, literally, like, leave the guitar out. Like, I have, oh god, I'm whacking cameras over here. You know, so personally for me, like, I have my guitars on hangers, right, and they're always out. They're always out, and they're always hanging. So, you know, when I walk into my little studio space here, I can grab my guitar off the wall, put it on, turn on my, you know, my amp, and just go for it, right? Like, that's what you want to do. That's the first step, getting the guitar out. That is more important than anything, because if you have that packed away in a case somewhere and you're not feeling like playing, guess what? That guitar is going to stay in that case. And that's not going to do you any good. You know, it's not going to let your creativity flow when it's, you know, buried in a closet somewhere. First of all, guys, you know, get a guitar stand or get a guitar hanger. Make sure that that guitar is out in the open for you to grab whenever you're feeling that, like, that feeling to play. The next thing is, like, let's say, okay, Joe, I already have my guitars out, but I still don't want to pick them up. You know, my next, you know, thought process there is probably along the lines of, like, listen to music that excites you. You know, so what you're gonna do is when you listen to music that excites you, it's gonna get you jacked, it's gonna get you amped, or maybe you want to listen to something melancholy and, like, get you down and sad or whatever and make you feel emotion, right? Because music has a way of doing that. You know, it makes you feel again, you know, and maybe you're having a hard time translating that guitar to feeling. So, you know, even if you're not picking up the guitar and you're having a hard time doing that, you know, listen to music that excites you, that makes you want to pick it up. You know, that's you know, step number 2 for me. Get yourself excited without a guitar in your hand. You know, the next step for me personally is probably something along the lines of, like, you know, I don't even know how to put it, like, so kind of piggybacking off that last idea that I had, you know, to kind of make that idea go a little bit farther. Let's say you listen to something that excites you and you actually pick up your guitar, you know, listen to a riff and try to emulate it. Like, even if it doesn't sound the same at all, you know, and you write this cool riff that's, like, totally different now because you listened to a song. I don't know if you guys know this, but, like, that's how I used to write songs when I was a kid, or, like, riffs or different things like that. I'd listen to a song and I'd try to emulate it, and if it didn't sound anything like it, it didn't matter to me anymore. You know, what mattered to me was the fact that I was playing, you know, and I would, like, write this, like, cool riff idea, you know, and I would just, like, keep rolling with it, and I'm like, and I'd start, you know, building off that little idea that I made, and, like, next thing you know, I have a whole song, you know, and that song that I wrote may not even sound anything like the song that I was listening to originally, but the thing is that it got you inspired to play, you know. So 1, you know, keep your guitars out. 2, listen to music that excites you. 3, try to emulate that music that excites you, even if it doesn't sound anything like what got you excited in the first place. Another thing for me that, you know, definitely, you know, helps me get somewhere when it comes to feeling uninspired, like in a musical sense, is, you know, maybe exploring a new guitar tone. You know, I do that all the time. Like, the reason I bought my Line 6 Helix personally was because I could get any guitar tone that I wanted. Like, and I'm someone who plays a lot of different genres. Like, I want to be playing super fuzzy stuff, and then next thing you know, I'm like, I'm not feeling that right now. I want to switch to something else entirely. You know, like, and maybe I'm speaking from a point of privilege here where I have, you know, a Helix or whatever, but there, you know, there's a lot of free plugins out there and stuff. You know, guys, go and explore new guitar tones. Like, even if it's the pedals that you have, maybe it's playing with the EQ, maybe it's dialing in a better tone than what you have, you know. So, like, let's say, like, your guitar tone's feeling a little flaccid, like your chugs just don't feel right. Get those chugs sounding good, man. Like, get that guitar tone so when you chug, you're like, oh, yes, that's what I'm talking about. You know, like, that's what you want. You know, if you can get that chug sounding good, I guarantee you're gonna write a new riff because of that. You know, like, and that's important. You know, and the last thing that kind of ties this first idea together, right, of just not feeling it, is, you know, physically forcing yourself to play. And it sucks, guys. I'm gonna be honest. Me turning on this camera today sucked, Me picking up this guitar and playing today sucked. Like, it was hard for me to do it, and here's what happened when I forced myself to pick up my guitar and turn on my cameras today. When I picked up my guitar, I was like, oh man, okay. I started feeling a little bit better about it, but like, I wasn't writing anything new. I was just like kind of riffing around, and I got bored pretty quick. And then I got to thinking about that, and I was like, I should set my cameras back up today and just, like, I don't even know how to put it, like, set my cameras back up and just record something. I was feeling inspired enough to play because I picked up my guitar, but because I picked up my guitar, I decided to make this video, and that's the chain of events that happened because I picked up my guitar today. And it's been a solid week and a half since I've touched a guitar of any kind, and that's not good because I gotta be putting out content. But, just pick up your guitar, even if it's just for 10 minutes, just to blast the rust off real quick and put the guitar down. Maybe it'll spark a sequence of events that is going to help you write something new, or maybe anything. I don't know. Like, I wish I had a better answer for you here, but like, maybe it'll do something, and that's kind of what you have to keep in mind. So, and the second idea that I have is, like, let's say you're legitimately stuck in a musical rut. You've explored all of these other things, but you, for whatever reason, can't get out of your box shapes or whatever, like, and obviously all this stuff that I'm talking about is more of like an abstract idea. Like, I'm not telling you, like, this is what you can play and it'll fix all the problems. Like, that's not what I'm talking about here. What I'm trying to convey is, like, me just speaking from my heart and telling you kind of what I do and maybe my thought process as to how to get uninspired, right? So yeah, let's get back to this idea of a musical rut. Let's say you're feeling, inspired enough to just keep chugging away, but like you just keep playing the same thing and you're like, what is going on? One, you can explore a new guitar tone because you're gonna, it's gonna be different, but let's just say that you've already done all that. And personally, what I do when I notice that I'm playing the same things over and over is the Sloppy Joe secret is I learn new techniques. If I'm like feeling uninspired, where it's like I'm playing but I'm not really like writing anymore, or don't want to write, or maybe I'm trying to write but I don't know what to do, is I learn new techniques or scales or whatever, so like I don't even know how to put it. Like, let's say you're writing stuff and you're just frustrated. I just say, like, maybe if you don't know how to finger tap, go and learn how to finger tap. Maybe you can incorporate that into a song. Or maybe you're like, I need to know more scales. So, like your minor pentatonic, you're like, well, maybe I should learn like the second version of minor pentatonic, right? So like, let's say you're playing something in like A minor, like the A minor pentatonic. And cool, you can do that lick at the end there like once or twice, and then it gets really boring, but you can't just keep going. Like, so what do? Maybe you learn, like some pentatonic, tricks. And maybe you go that way. Or maybe you learn different positions of the pentatonic. So that, like you can go. And then maybe the next time you go. And then you start adding those two ideas together. So. and you can do like a call and response using different positions or something. And obviously that's a very simple idea, but and I'm trying to like not make it overly complicated here, but maybe learn new techniques, new scales or something. Just the big thing here in this section is you want to be learning, and you want to be purposefully ingesting information to try to change your playing. So like if you know which notes to hit, guess what? Your playing's already gonna get more exciting. So like instead of just going now you're gonna go like it's that simple, and maybe this is just more of a abstract thought, but the more information that you know and try to incorporate into your playing is going to become naturally more interesting. That's just how it works. Or, so let's say, you're learning new scales, or, you're learning how, music theory works. That's a good one to start with there. Like, and if I were to do a shout out to any website that I use a lot, it's Guitar Lessons 365. That is my go-to for everything. I love that website. Like, so personally, like right now, if we're gonna like kind of talk about me, like I'm learning I've already known all my 3-note per string scales, but what I'm doing is I'm doing something more on the lines of trying to learn all my arpeggios within the scale, which is something that's on Guitar Lessons 365. So like so that was a G major, arpeggio within the G major, or the Ionian mode of the G major scale. And then, what I do after that is I would learn the G major arpeggio kind of within the Aeolian scale within G major. And then I just keep going up the scale. Then the next one would be like B Phrygian. Now we're playing the G major arpeggio within the B Phrygian scale. And I immediately got sloppy there, but that's what I'm doing right now. And it's really helping me. So like, let's do that again. And then the Lydian scale. And I do that for, Mixolydian and Aeolian, and then, finally Locrian, and then leading back up to the... and that's what I've been doing, and that's more of like an intensive one, and I'm going through all the arpeggios and all the different shapes. It's taking me a long time, but when I'm not feeling like I don't want to write new riffs and I just want to better myself at guitar, that's all I focus on. That's it. So, and that's kind of like what I use to break myself out of the rut. You can, right now I'm learning arpeggios within scales. Maybe for you, that is learning, jazz, like let's say that it's maybe for you it's learning like seventh chords, or maybe like how to do other chord shapes and how they incorporate. All of it's about just getting the most amount of information in your brain, because when you put more information in your brain, your fingers are going to start translating differently, and that is going to make your guitar playing more interesting. And right now for me, I'm going to say this is like a step 3 of what uninspired feels like, and for me it's both the not feeling it factor and the the musical rut factor, where I don't even want to pick up my guitar right now and I'm not feeling it. So what am I doing? My rule is force yourself to play. You know, and right now for me, since I'm not really feeling, you know, like writing music or whatever, I'm forcing myself into exercises, whether I want to or not. It's like working out. I'm not the poster child for working out, but, you know, like that's what I'm doing personally, is I'm just working out my chops, you know, and learning things. And one day when I come back and I'm feeling inspired, I'm gonna be able to write just the craziest riffs, because I've now incorporated all this new knowledge in my head, and it's gonna make me approach my fretboard much, much different. You know, so I kind of hope that, you know, this video of me just ranting really helped you, you know, a little bit. And I don't know, I kind of hope that it went somewhere, but, you know, this was a thing that I needed to do too. Like, I needed to pick up my guitar today. Otherwise, I wasn't going to record a video for the second weekend in a row, and I really need to do that, you know. And, you know, I feel better about this now, you know. And maybe this rant didn't make any frickin' sense, but I hope it fell on ears that were more than willing to receive it. But anyways, if you like what you're seeing here, definitely click subscribe, smash that bell notification, and follow me in all the upcoming videos. Now, you can always hit me up on Facebook. Just pretend this is a keyboard and type it into your browser, you turkey. Or hit me up on Instagram at sloppyjoes_shredshack. But anyways, I'm Joe. I talked about feeling uninspired. It's something we all have to deal with. And I hope that you have at least gotten a few tools out of this, or maybe some ideas on how you can feel uninspired too. Alrighty, thanks.